matter of fact, a lot of aspects of your life. So let's look at the competent money manager's characteristics. One, we have a plan of action. So you need one. You need to have a plan of action. You need to create a comprehensive financial plan of action that manage and implement on a daily basis. You need to make it a habit that money is difficult to come by. Money is scarce. But at the same time, money is abundant. But then how do I get it? I need to have a plan and meticulously implement that plan on a daily basis. Now save 10% of income. And it says financially intelligent people consistently save at the very least 10% of their earned income and utilize it for investment purposes or compound their money for long-term gains. At the very least, if you can't save anything, at the very least, try and save 10% of your income. If you can't do much, just do 10%. And the question is, are you just going to put the 10% in the bank account for the next month to come? Or are you going to try and multiply that 10%? There's so many ways to multiply that 10%. You can put it in bonds and stocks, shares, you can have landed properties, anything that you think, with the little you know, with the research you do, can multiply that 10% you are keeping, then it's worth doing. Because otherwise, you keep the money in the bank account and it really does nothing for you. You gain nothing. You just look at it and smile, I have money. But what we call time value of money. 100 Ghana cedis in this month of August, come end of September, will not be worth the same 100 Ghana cedis. Because what I can buy with 100 Ghana cedis today, the 29th of August, might not be able to buy come 29th of September, which means 100 Ghana has been devalued or inflation has gone up. So if I have kept that 100 Ghana cedis in the bank without attracting any interest, I've practically done myself a disservice. So you need to think, should I put it in T-bills? And don't go to all this fishy and scamming financial institutions that will promote so much in terms of returns and delivers nothing. And the third one is minimizes purchases liabilities. We buy a lot. We buy a lot. What we need and what we don't need. You know, the fact that I work in the mine doesn't mean I should drive a certain type of car. Who said that? The fact that I work in the mine doesn't mean I should live in a certain type of neighborhood. Who said that? It's all personal life choices. And you need to make the right one for you. If you think at your level you can drive a Range Rover, so be it, but you need to understand the consequences of it. It's one thing purchasing the Range Rover, and there's another thing running that Range Rover in a monthly basis. Can I be comfortable in a Corolla? Yes. Oh, my friends will laugh at me. Come on, you're a manager and driving a Corolla. So be it. Doesn't it move? It does. Do you want to create status? If that's what you want, then that is what you get. So let's be mindful of our purchases. And I use car and house as an example and neighborhood as an example because that's where we find ourselves in as miners. Because we work in the mine, we need to be flashy, we need to be seen to be doing this, we need to be seen to be doing that. I don't share it. And let me pass through something. I remember when I was in Goldfields and I was putting up my structure. I was then in a rented apartment. And I remember one of my colleagues spoke with me and was like, why don't you move into an estate apartment? You are the manager. You can afford it. I looked at him and I said, well, you are right. I'm a manager and I can afford it, but I don't want it. I'm okay where I am. Because I live on site. Most parts of my life, I live on site. My rented apartment in Accra, 3-bedroom, 2 people in it. So why would I want to move to an estate? But when he realized I put up a structure, he really understood what I was doing. So you don't live your life for anyone, but yourself. You are in competition with only yourself and no one. So do what works for you. Drive the car that you think can give you the flexibility that you need in terms of finances. Live in the area that you think can give you the flexibility in your finances. Of course, be mindful of your safety and your security. You can't play with those things. So we need to minimize our purchases. We need to set long and short-term money goals. We shouldn't set over-ambitious money goals. We need to have a plan. We need to have, in the short to medium term, what do I want to see with my money? Where do I want to see my money go up? And in the long term, where do I want that money to go? That's my 10% I'm saving. In the next 3 months, how do I want to see that percent translated into? In the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, where should it be? So we need to start thinking along that line. And we need to strategically spend money. Each and every purchase that financial intelligent people make is thought through carefully. Like I've said, great money managers, they understand the long-term consequences of making even the smallest purchase decisions. You can't make a purchase today, it might be small, but it can have a telling effect on your finances, probably for a year or two, if not for a very long time. So we need to be very, very strategic. Now, let's say this. Like I said, Warren Buffett said, why spend or why purchase something that doesn't increase in value? And the quick example is a vehicle. If you buy a vehicle today from the shop, the moment you take it out of the shop, it's not worth that value again. Just few hours, the vehicle was worth $40,000, becomes $38,000 because it's slightly used in our term. And even in Ghana, when your number is registered, even G or 2016 or 2014 and in 2020, you might as well forget. You're not going to get a value you need. So vehicles doesn't appreciate in value, they depreciate. They wear off. So in his view, why buy it? Why don't you lease such items? Of course, Ghana leasing is not in vogue here, and we pray and hope as the year progresses, leasing will become something of an everyday life. And trust me, if you want to drive a Range Rover, you can lease that Range Rover at a very good monthly rate. After 2 years, send it back, go and collect another Range Rover, the latest model, and continue leasing it. Because that car that you leased for 2 years and sent it back, the value has dropped. So the value of if you invested in the vehicle, your value has dropped. But you will buy a house because houses appreciate in value. So you lease something that doesn't appreciate in value, and you buy what appreciates in value. That's a smart and wise investment way to go. You also need to seek professional and financial advice. It's not in your domain, seek the advice of the professionals. Interact with successful money managers. Go out of your way to talk to them. Have a conversation with them. You will pick a thing or two that might help shape your finances. And lastly, you need to keep learning new money strategies. There are a lot of strategies around. And you never stop learning about money. You need to continuously learn about money, finance, investment, property, shares, etc. Money is as natural as breathing air. And every moment throughout your day, either listening to a video, audio, or somebody talking about wealth, reading a book about wealth, speaking about money, attending a seminar on finance, reading the financial sections of daily newspapers and stuff, money is a way of life. Which is why financial intelligent people always become financially successful, because money has become a way of life for them. Thank you.